What's going on, guys? My name is Parker, and today we're going to go over the defensive issues from that Canucks last game and really just go over exactly what is leading to all of these goals that they're allowing. You know, they're allowing something like 38 shots a game. They've allowed more than 5 goals in a game, 8 times already this year. So we're going to go through each of Toronto's goals and see exactly what is going on that is causing these. So on this first one, about 3 minutes in, it's still 0-0. Quinn Hughes is pinching in. So Toronto's trying to break out of their zone. This puck has come along the wall. You can kind of see it right there. And this Toronto player is just going to try to kick it out to Muzzin, who's coming up here. So Hughes pinches in, which doesn't work, and Muzzin gets it. And now JT Miller has to come back because we have 3 Canucks forwards here. There's 2 here, and then there's 1 down behind the play here. And then we have, I think it's Hyman coming up trying to burn here. So this gets picked up by Matthews. And Miller's job is now Austin Matthews. This is your number 1 priority. Jordy Ben is back here, and he's covering Hyman. And so what we see is as they come through center, this gives us a pretty good look right here. We now have Austin Matthews has this entire short side of the ice. He has literally from the R in arena all the way to this wall to work. Jordy Ben has Hyman out here. Like, Hyman's not a concern right now. But the problem is, if we just go back like a couple of frames even, like as we see them come through, Miller is just skating backwards. And he's not moving his feet. He's coasting backwards. It's almost as if he thinks this pass is going to come through, and Hyman's ready for the pass anyways. But what he needs to be worried about is that Austin Matthews has this entire short side of the ice. So what does Matthews do? He's going to take that entire short side of the ice. So he starts skating and going wide, and then Miller realizes that he's made a mistake. Because Matthews is still in the dead center of the ice, and Miller has to turn here. But Matthews has way more momentum. So he makes this turn. Miller does the sort of reach. He tries to swat the stick and get a piece of it here. He just doesn't really move his feet enough to make this play. You can see he sort of takes a whack at it, and then he just starts, like right here, he starts coasting, and he gives him on the play. Now what needs to happen, Jordy Ben needs to see what's going on. He needs to see that his man Miller has just got burned. So he needs to come over, close this gap, and take the pass away and keep Matthews from just driving to the net. So as Miller gets burned here, he goes for a little hook to try to stop the play. Matthews cuts in, so he's fine here. And again, Jordy Ben is just sitting here. Again, I get that this isn't his guy, but it is now. Right, he needs to come over and close that gap, but he's still covering this play to Hyman, which isn't going to happen. That is not the threat right now. The threat right now is Austin Matthews, who comes in at the last second. Jordy Ben's like, "Oh, maybe I should pick this guy up," and Miller does the old give up and skate away sort of thing. Like, he just starts going a different direction, makes it look like Jordy Ben is the issue here. And again, you'd like to see Ben try to get your stick in the lane, try to do something, dive for this puck. He just doesn't. Matthews tucks at 5-hole, and it is 1-0. All right, on this one, it is 1-1, 10 minutes to go in the first period or so. Leafs are on the power play. So the Canucks have a decent box set up to start here. You can see you've got Myers on this guy. You've got, who is this? This is Edler on the guy in front of the net. We've got, I think this is Sutter covering this point man. The other guy is covering that far side if that pass comes through. So what happens here is Nylander takes the puck, and he starts to look. And what he does is he plays it to the point. We can see that Edler sort of weakly covering this guy in front. But this is still a fine box setup, right? They're doing just fine. What happens now is the puck gets played across to Spezza. And what this does is this shifts the box, right? The box, which is now basically, you have your 2 guys in the middle of the ice and the 2 guys on the wall where the puck is. As this shifts, so do the Canucks. So you see Sutter starts to move over with Riley. We'll see... in theory, Roussel should be going to this point, but look, Sutter's going there anyways, so I guess it's okay. What we really see happen is on the defense. We see Edler make his shift, and his shift is now to step up and cover this wall. So he needs to stop Spezza from coming down low or trying to make a shot. And Myers' job now becomes, as the box moves, as the play moves to the other side of the ice, which is his offside, he needs to be covering the front of the net, and he just doesn't. You can see Tavares is here, and it looks like Myers is almost a little worried about Tavares. He's not the main threat, and Edler kind of has this passing lane to Tavares anyways. Myers needs to get this guy out of the way, because we can now see Spezza stepping up, and as we see, he starts to take a shot here, and as we look here, Hyman is standing right in front of Demko. Demko cannot see. He's doing the old peer over the shoulder because he doesn't know, he can't see the puck. Myers needs to come in and just get him out of the way, tie him up, push him into the corner, just get him out of Demko's line of sight. But he just slowly glides. Hyman just stands perfectly in front of the net, right outside the crease. Spezza's shot goes right next to both of them. Myers is again covering nobody, and it goes in to make it 2-1. All right, 3 minutes into the second period now. Leafs are again breaking up into the Canucks zone. And as this play comes through, a pinch here by the D-man, and we see Marner trying to break free, and Pettersson has him covered. As this puck comes through, though, Marner just wins this battle. Marner just cuts across. He says, I'm getting this puck, you're not, and that's what he does. So Marner gets this puck, and Pettersson is a little bit beat here. However, Pettersson makes an outstanding poke check here. This is a great play from Pettersson. We see him go for the poke and play it behind the net. This is great. This is exactly what you want to see. Now what Pettersson needs to do is he needs to stay with him and ride him into the wall. Just take him out of the play, allow Quinn Hughes to come behind the net, pick up the puck, and you're good. What he does instead is he lets Marner go because he is 100% sure that Marner is going to go around the net and try to make a play out front, either try to tuck it in or play it up to Matthews here. So what he does is he bounces off of him and he cuts through the crease. And he thinks, all right, I'm just going to take this play away right here. But what Marner does, which is so smart, he knows that Matthews is here and he's going to this side to give him an outlet. So what Marner does is he reaches around and just sweeps it behind him. So now Pettersson isn't an issue because he's, the puck's not coming this way. Hughes, I think right now, starts to see what's happening and says, oh, this puck is coming to Matthews. And Matthews is ready for it. His stick is almost on the ice. He's ready to go. And then this pass just comes through. And look at Demko. This isn't on Demko, right? Demko just sees the guy going around the net. His job is to track that puck. And he's looking the other way, right? Like there's nothing that Demko can do. So he's sliding over. Matthews gets it right on the goal line. Hughes is late to get his stick in there. Also, having your stick this high isn't going to get it done. You got to get the stick on the ice, get the poke check if you can, deflect it into the corner, and then Matthews just sort of banks it in. That's all he does. Makes it 3-1. All right, we're about halfway through the second here. It's 3-2 because the Canucks answered after that Matthews goal, and the Leafs once again on the breakout. And this is how all of their goals have started. So they're coming out of the zone and they play it up the middle. And here's the first issue. You have 3 Leafs coming up, right? So they're trying to have a 3-on-2. They're trying to have an odd man rush. And what we see, if we just go back a little bit here, is we see your 2 wingers coming down to pressure. And then Gaudet's job is to support the D-man and prevent an odd man rush. Make it a 3-on-3 at worst. What he does, though, is as this puck comes through, Gaudet's, you can see where his eyes are. His eyes aren't on Boyd, where that pass is coming. His eyes are on the person making the pass. So he sees that pass, and he steps in. Instead of, again, following with Tyler Boyd, he tries to cut this pass off. It doesn't work. Puck goes to Boyd, and now just like that, we can see they have a 3-on-2. What Gaudet needs to do right now is he needs to move his feet. He needs to just go, and get back and help. Because now it's a 3-on-2, and we see, the puck gets played to the wing. Smart play by Boyd. There's so much more space over here. It's a smart play by Toronto, and Gaudet is falling behind. And what we see Spezza do is right here is he slows up and he becomes the trailer. He sees that Gaudet isn't going to get in his way. Gaudet's not going to get back in time. So Spezza says, okay, I can trail. I can let this guy go in up the middle and take the defenseman out of the play, or at least take Quinn Hughes out of the play while Jordy Ben goes over here. Spezza can just float up high and receive the pass. And that's exactly what happens. So Boyd goes down. Ben, again, I'd like him to close this gap a little bit more and make this pass harder. But this is such a smart play here, seeing Jason Spezza as Boyd is taking Hughes in deep. Gaudet's not able to get back. Puck comes through for Spezza, a beautiful pass. You can see Hughes has his man, Ben sort of on his man, and Gaudet just couldn't catch up to Spezza, and he just beats Demko short side to make it 4-2. All right, last couple minutes of the second period, and the Canucks are making a line change here, and you can see, Virtanen going to the bench, and so the Canucks are getting fresh guys out on the ice. And what we see here, the puck goes over, and Morgan Rielly is carrying the puck in. It's kind of confusing here, but as we see him skate in, we see basically a line of 4 Maple Leafs and a line of 3 Canucks, and then Höglander back here as well. So what happens here is Rielly carries the puck in, and John Tavares is the guy to watch on this play. We see Schmidt is on Riley, although that's not necessarily his job. That's okay though. Basically, everyone's got a man, right? We can see here's a link, here's a link, here's a link, and here's a link. They're all connected. What happens is Riley cuts back, and what this does is it creates depth, right? Instead of having 4 guys lined up where you can't really make a pass to any of them, stopping up here and letting these 2 guys, Tavares and whoever 24 is, they can now go in deep and make some depth to this play. So Riley does this cut back, and John Tavares just beelines it for the net. He goes right between Mott and Schmidt, and neither of them cover. So this Riley stopping here, what this has done is Höglander's come a little bit too far because Nylander stopped over here as well. So that pass comes through. And again, we see on this right-hand side, Tavares has now burned right through both of them. They're tied up. Neither of them are covering Riley or Tavares now. So this puck comes through to Nylander. Schmidt is now caught up high. So Schmidt's job is normally this guy in front of the net. But he's lost him. So Mott needs to see in his mind, okay, Schmidt, our D-man, now is on Riley. He's now covering the point because we got burned. My job is to now turn around and stick to Tavares and not let him be open. Nylander gets his head up and he sees, okay, this guy's covered. Wayne Simmons is covered. Höglander has not closed this gap enough, so Nylander has space. There's just not enough tight coverage. Riley is kind of open for a pass because Pettersson's coming down. So Riley's calling for a pass. Tavares has a stick on the ice, and Mott needs to have his stick right here, right on Tavares' stick. He doesn't. This is a gorgeous pass from Nylander. Again, Mott realizes too late that Tavares is now wide open with a wide open net, and he's just going to get a stick on it and make it 5-2. All right, the last Leafs goal, or this isn't the last Leafs goal, this is the 6th of 7. So Jason Spezza has the puck. This is Jason Spezza's hat trick goal. 5 minutes into the third, and he is one-on-one with Alex Edler, right? If you're a D-man, nothing wrong with a one-on-one. One-on-ones are easy. You just stay with the guy. He might get a shot off. You expect your goalie to save it. What happens, though, is look at how much space Edler gives him. And again, Spezza now has this entire side of the ice. There's no other threat, right? There's no one coming in on the wing that's coming as a pass. Chatfield's coming back to cover whoever comes up next. So what Spezza does is he is given so much space. He's got like 2 stick lengths on Alex Edler. So he can do whatever you want here. He has time to stop and cut across and just take a wrist shot. He has time to skate it behind the net. He has time to try to drive the net. So what he does is let's go back a couple frames if I can. So he, again, with this space, is he starts to look across. So he opens his body up, Jason Spezza, and he now has the option, because there's a big hole here and a big hole here. So he's making it look like he's going to cut across and just try to take an easy shot for Demko to save from the top, from like the high slot area, right? So Edler gets tricked here, and he thinks, oh, I've got Spezza wanting to come this way, so I'm going to keep taking this away. It's exactly what Spezza wants him to do. So as Edler looks that way, Spezza then pulls it in, and immediately we go from a guy looking this way at this sort of cone of the ice to this cone of the ice, and just moving the puck is all he has to do. So he pulls the puck up to his forehand, and now look at, just in that instant, by moving the puck over here, Edler is now completely out of position. So Spezza has basically a full step here. Edler's flat-footed, hunched over, and Spezza has look at this line to the net, right? Like there's nothing that can get in his way here. He has this entire cone just to drive the net. So what he does is he drives a little wider than he probably should. If he was able to cut in, he might have had an easier chance here. Edler is kind of okay here. He might be able to step in front. I would like to see him play the body here and try to just drive Spezza out. But what instead he does is he sees this puck and he goes for the poke check. This is an excellent play by Jason Spezza. All he does is tap the puck. He just lets the puck go off of his stick and he just taps it to the inside. All he does is move it from here to here, right here to here, and Edler's poke check now misses. And since Edler went for the poke check, there's no more threat because Spezza, there's no threat of him getting knocked down. He just plays it to the middle, and now he picks the puck back up. Demko wasn't expecting him to cut through like that, so he's stuck to this post, and Spezza just outweights him, goes wide, and makes it 6-2. All right, we are at the end of a long Canucks shift here. The Canucks, Sutter, Mott, and Virtanen line have been stuck out there for a minute and a half. You can actually see it. TSN put the clock up here, and they're just hemmed in. Now, there's a battle in the corner, and this puck comes out to Alex Edler behind the net. This is the perfect play for Alex Edler to pick up the puck, clear it out to center, get the boys to get a change. Instead, what he does is he sees Boyd coming, and he's too worried about this guy, right? You have a free line at the puck. It's coming right to you. Pick it up, skate, clear, right? All he has to do is pick this puck up as it comes around. He has a full 6 feet on Tyler Boyd. He just needs to reach, pick it up, skate around to the Adidas logo, and shoot it down the ice, right? Just clear it, a high lob that just lands at Toronto's blue line. That's all you got to do here. Instead, he worries too much about Boyd. And he's at the end of a shift, right? So it kind of makes sense. Like he's tired, not thinking straight potentially, and he doesn't want to have to skate to that Adidas logo. So what he does instead is he tries to just keep body position on him. So he leans in and sort of tries to reverse hit Boyd. And this works well, except Boyd has reached through here. You can see his stick here. He has reached through and he has poked the puck. Excellent play by Boyd here. He read exactly what Edler was going to do. He just poked it free, and now the Canucks are stuck in their zone again. So what we see then is this skate from Sutter is the classic I'm exhausted skate, where you see him sort of drop the stick, just sort of float over. Great pass from Bogosian here, just cycle it back up to the point. In this case, it's Mitch Marner. And he's got so much time. There's no one on him. You can see there's only 3 Canucks on the screen right now. Sutter's got this guy. Mott is still in the corner from that battle. So what needs to happen is Jake needs to realize, okay, Mott is still in that corner. I now have to cover this left side of the ice, right? This far side of the ice, this whole area over here, this is now his wing, especially since this guy's changing. There's no other D-man to worry about, right? There's no other option on this point to worry about. Jake needs to skate to this guy, close this gap. Instead, you see Jake just stop in the high slot. Look at all this room. We see Edler looks up, realizes this. Chatfield realizes that Jake's not going to go, so Chatfield tries to go. Virtanen literally just steps out of the way. And again, there's no one here for Jake to cover. There's no point man. He just went off on a change. Cover this guy, close this gap, and stop the shot. Instead, Chatfield comes out to try to block it. Again, Jake is covering nobody. A good screen in front here. You see Demko has to look around 2 guys here. And Marner just shoots it. And he beats Demko. So a few things that went wrong here. There was Edler not clearing. There was Sutter being lazy going to the puck, although that was a play from Bogosian that was going to happen regardless if he got there or not. So not a real issue from Sutter there. And then no one going up and covering that point. Mott was stuck in the corner, so Jake needs to go and pick up that guy, especially since there's no threat because the other player just changed. It's a 4-on-5, right? They're shorthanded while this guy's coming onto the ice. So you just got to close the gap, poke it out of the zone, and get off the ice, but they couldn't do that. So 7-3, the final, Toronto versus Vancouver. I hope you guys liked this analysis. If you guys have any more questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. And if you want to see more things like this, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like button, do all that good stuff. My name's Parker, and I hope you have a good day.